All right, hello, welcome back to Talking Giants, brought to you by SeatGeek. The Broncos scored 33 points. How many did they score in the fourth quarter? Broncos 33, Giants 32. And man, just when you think you've experienced the most devastating loss since the Miracle in the Meadowlands 2 in 2010, Vince Carter comes in and says, "I got one more in me," and I am so angry at so many different things that Shaun Morash, I don't even know where to begin. I don't know where to begin. I have 4 to 5 different reasons that I think that they lost the game, and I am so equally angry at those 4 to 5 things.
Okay.
Yeah. How you doing?
I mean, look, you're never doing well after a Giant loss, so I'm not going to sugarcoat that. I thought the game was over. I think many of us did, and they lose a game they probably should not lose. But I am certainly getting the vibes in the moments we are recording this after the podcast, both from your vibe and, I mean, frankly, being cursed out by both Tommy Lugauer and Tiki Barber via text that I'm going to be in the minority on this, which is totally fine with me. That loss sucks. I am still furious at the way the kicker situation has been handled by this team, and specifically the general manager, something that keeps biting this team in the ass. I'm not happy that the defense basically imploded there. I'm not happy that Jackson Dart threw a pick, but again, highs and lows of a rookie quarterback. Your rookie quarterback just went on the road in Denver versus the best defense in football and put up 30 points with basically no wide receivers, not named Wan'Dale Robinson to speak of. So excuse me if I'm seeing the forest through the trees at 2-5. Because maybe I was more level-headed than others about the wins and losses and the outcomes of the season. But all right, people don't want to hear that today. That's where I'm at right now. But that doesn't mean I'm not upset about the loss.
Yeah. So here's we'll start off with the kicker situation. But before anybody listening rolls their eyes and be like, well, what about this? What about that? I'm going to lay out the 4 to 5 reasons very quickly. And we'll start off with the kicker situation. The 4 to 5 reasons why I think they lost the game.
Okay.
You make 2 extra points, the game is completely different. The Broncos need a touchdown at the end of the game instead of a field goal to win. But even if you make those extra points, Shaun, like I even think the whole frame of the game and the whole approach of the game is different for both sides. Yeah. If you have a kicker that can make those extra points.
Holland and Dable don't get hurt in the game, you win the game.
Right. And you lead me to my next reason, Shaun. Deontay Banks checks into the game and everything goes to fucking shit. Mm-hmm. Everything goes to shit. Your former first-round draft pick that you traded up for 1 pick, by the way. You traded up for him because Joe Shane had to have him. You trade up for 1 pick. He comes in and he gets destroyed. And everything falls. It's like osmosis. Everybody gets worse. It's almost like when James Hudson checked out, Andrew Thomas comes in. Oh, the offensive line gets better. Deontay Banks checked in. Cordell Flott became like, oh my God. I'm looking at Cordell Flott this game. Is Cordell Flott the best player on the field right now? Deontay Banks checks back in, and the defense comes to shit again. After shutting down Denver's offense, after they look completely lost and hopeless. Lost and hopeless for 3 quarters, Shaun. It was awful. Awful. Bo Nix looked awful. You allowed them to score 33 points in the fourth quarter. Oh, yeah, remember when in the intro when I said how many points do we allow in the fourth quarter? Right after I said Broncos 33, it was 33 points. Mind-boggling. And before the miracle touchdown drive at the end of the game, the approach of run, pass for 2 straight drives. And the first run, pass, before that miracle, the miracle touchdown drive, and I put miracle in quotes, before that, throws the interception that's really backbreaking because then you give the Broncos the ball back in their own territory. Broncos score a quick touchdown. The approach of run, pass killed any chance you had at sealing the game on your own accord. Those are the 4 major reasons why I think the Giants lost the game, and I think each of those 4 reasons share a good chunk of responsibility here. Shaun, do you want to start off with the kicker situation?
Yeah, I mean, let's start there. I'm just going to say this right now. The defense versus a terrible offense that has struggled all day. I'm putting this game on above anything else, even the kicker situation and even Dart's interception where people are questioning, Dable's decision, which I had less of a problem with clearly than others did. I didn't realize this many people were going to have problems with that. the kicker situation is just ridiculous. It's absolutely absurd. It's one thing to go into a game without a kicker when you're trusting Graham Gano's health and you played with fire the entire offseason like we did with the Chief game then. But it's another thing to just understand that we've seen a couple weeks of Jude McAtamney now where how many times are the Giants going to be in the range of like, what do we do 50 yards out or something like that? And you're either punting or going for it. In the NFL, if you are not playing with a kicker anymore that you trust to at least try a field goal from 50 yards out. Now, this is leading into the extra points missed. You are playing with an arm tied around your back. And then you throw in the fact that he cannot be relied on to kick an extra point. I don't know how you keep doing weeks upon weeks of this. And Jackson Dart, to his credit, along with Cam Scadaboo, has covered up the fact that the Giants have an unmitigated disaster at the kicker situation, which, let's just be honest, an employed regular NFL kicker on this team today. And we're talking about what an unbelievable win that is for Jackson Dart on the road.
Teams get to the 45-yard line. Nikki Snacks is calling me. Are you fucking you're fucking calling me right now? And you know that I'm recording? Hung up the phone on him. Teams get to the 45-yard line. Midfield. Half the league gets to the midfield. And we're getting points this drive. Half the league.
Yeah.
We can't even kick an extra point. How many times, Shaun, I almost wanted to make a video after the game. There's a scene in the movie The Heat with Melissa McCarthy and Sandra Bullock.
You're going to that Heat movie? That's the one you're going to?
That Heat movie. It's hilarious. Where Melissa McCarthy is going around her captain's office and just like, do you see the captain's balls in here? Do you see it? Do you see it? I can't hear him. I can't hear him. It's like I wanted to look under every nook and cranny of my apartment and be like, does anybody see the solution of kicker for the Giants here? Do you see it here? Is it in here? Is it in here? You fucking hear it? Is it in here? How many times do we need to do this? How many times do we need to lose
it's ridiculous.
A heartbreaking game because of this one little, minuscule, irrelevant position? It should be
it's
in the NFL. I'm tired of my favorite team losing like this, Shaun.
That's the general manager decision, man. It goes back to March. It goes back to April. There was no reason to trust that Graham Gano at his age, off his injury history, should have that guaranteed deal where you could have wiped the cap space off of there and you could have operated the offseason treating kicker like a priority. And you had not one, but two 7th-round picks. You could have gone up in the 6th round. I mean, this guy it's Fitzgerald in Carolina. He has a booming leg. I don't know why it's so taboo to draft a kicker. The Giants were the prime candidate to do so. And or just operate free agency a different way. And instead they put their stock on the international pathway program with Jude McAtamney, who wasn't good at Rutgers, behind an oft injured Graham Gano. And your biggest veteran answer was bringing in Younghoe Koo, who basically, what was the report, kicked somebody in the head with a kickoff that Friday before that first game he was signed, and they went with Jude McAtamney. They have been doing this for weeks, and we ignored it. And, that's on us, and that's on all the content creators to kind of brush it to a side because the Giants are playing well, and we were caught up in Jackson Dart euphoria. It is very, very difficult to play NFL football if you don't have a kicker. Look, kickers miss kicks. That's one thing. Missing 2 extra points in a game. And that you have a high chance of doing that when they don't even trust the guy to kick a 50-yard field goal. It is just absurd roster management. Inexcusable, frankly.
I think Dable's part of it too. I don't really care.
All right, get on Dable. I guess I'm in the wrong here. No, you know what? Let's do the Dable thing. Let's do the Dable thing because I'm going to be fully transparent with you. I am in my normal Evan and Tiki group chat, and I don't know what, the Dable thing everybody's getting mad at me for because I'm walking away from this going, Brian Dable had the New York Giants and that rookie quarterback and that offense prepared to go into a hostile environment. That's all I heard all week, how difficult it was going to be playing in Denver, the thin air, the altitude. It takes a lot out of you going to play that defense. That kid came ready to play. And that freaking coach today on a 3rd down where you want to say, run it, make them use their timeouts. That's playing scared. He trusted them to make a throw. He ends up throwing an interception. That's difficult. You can't have it happen. I understand all of that. What did Brian Dable do wrong in this game today? Tell me. He had the team ready to play. What was the Brian Dable problem you had a problem with today? And I've had issues with Brian Dable. I didn't walk away from today getting mad at Brian Dable. That feels like such a crutch right now.
I'm not. I mean, the problem that I have is the approach offensively, which Brian Dable's not the play caller.
Okay.
But there's also 80% of this game where I loved Mike Kafka and I loved the play caller, and oh my God, they don't have a wide receiver that they can throw to, so it makes things so much more difficult when you have to come from behind and everything. But it doesn't change the fact that they had an offensively. Forget the defensive side of the ball and the fact that Shane Bowen is employed and they allowed constantly big plays, but also the approach that, I don't know, like, this is such an NFL thing. The approach that you have on the defensive side of the ball, when you're up big like that, you naturally let your foot off the gas defensively. There's just an inevitable, we want to keep everything in front of you, but they didn't even do a good job of that. Well,
because they lost two of their best D-backs, Justin. That was a big deal.
But offensively, run, pass, 2 drives in a row. That is also a major contributing factor. If that's something that the Giants can control, that's something that they can control, their play calls and how aggressive that they want to be. And Brian Dable was not aggressive in that spot. And his offense.
Well,
that was an opportunity to win the game, regardless of how your defense was playing.
Interesting, because it's his lack of aggression. It's his aggression that leads to the interception that people seem to most have a problem with right now. So is it that he's not too aggressive or he was too aggressive? Because I'm losing track.
That was a bad decision by Dart, and Dart can't.
Exactly.
I think Dart made 2 glaring mistakes this game. There was a bad sack that he took where he rolled his ankle, and then the 3rd down interception. But also, Jackson Dart shouldn't be put in that situation to begin with when you know that you're facing a defense that has a high stuffed rate and they're an aggressive defense.
Okay.
You should be play action roll, like something different on 1st and 2nd down to change something that's so predictable to just run Cam Scatterbull up the middle on 1st down, run Cam Scatterbull up the middle on 2nd down.
I would run more. I'm fine with
running. And then also the second, after the interception, the second run pass possession, the 3rd and 8, like just desperation. We're going to try and just get Wan'Dale Robinson to be penalized here. Like, come on, man. Like, I understand there's no receivers to throw the ball to. Malik Neighbors is hurt. You're running out of 11 personnel, and it's Jalen Hyatt, Lil Jordan Humphrey, and Wan'Dale Robinson as your 3 receivers. I get that, but there can't be anything else that we can call to that is a more successful money play. He's been money on 3rd down ever since he's came in.
I understand that they were trusting Wan'Dale. They were trusting him. You want to call a different play call? That's fine. I just find it interesting because I think you're going to get a juxtaposition after this game of people that are mad that he was too aggressive and then people that were mad that he wasn't aggressive enough. Again, it's a rookie quarterback on the road. I think being aggressive,
not to cut you off, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I think being aggressive, it's not being aggressive on a 3rd and long when you need to be. It's being aggressive to take control of the game, put the game in your hands as an offense that's already scored a lot of points and kicked some ass, to do something different that Denver wouldn't be expecting to get that 1st down that you need to seal the game. That's how I view aggression.
Okay. So then if you and anybody else feels that way, I would just say this. Then this is exactly why the pregame conversation all week about whether a win or a loss should determine whether this team trades for a wide receiver is utterly fucking ridiculous. Because the truth is, you are going to get more situations like that, albeit not versus great at defenses as Denver, until you get a reputable wide receiver in here that could play NFL football, because the team played, again, with multiple arms tied around its back at that position today. And still, above anything else, you want to talk about looking into this game, and still that quarterback managed to put up 30-plus points today. Still. Yeah. Okay, you scored 32 points in Denver. You want to blame Brian Dable and his aggression or lack of aggression? It's on the defense for not being able to make up for 2 injuries, and it's on a freaking kicker for not making a kick.
Yeah,
period.
But I agree with. Like, that's why at the start of the show, I laid out before anybody could be like, "Why aren't you talking about this? Why are you talking about that?" We're going to talk about everything because I think all of it has played a factor and all of it's played an impact. Shaun, before we keep going, I want to talk to you about Shopify because this video is brought to you by Shopify. Shopify is the best place to start and grow a business, which is why we partner with them here at John Boy Media. John Boy Media has relaunched our merch store with Shopify with our new /line site, and it was a dream. We brought the idea, Shopify brought the execution. As you're shopping our new launch, check out what Shopify can do for you. Life really is a touchdown when you have Shopify on your side. Shopify Sidekick, Shopify Magic, and the suite of AI tools are a total game changer. It's revolutionizing the way you can build and manage a business. You'll have your own AI assistant guiding you on everything, directions, reports, editing, images, content ideas. Shopify's got your next move covered. If you're ready to take that business idea from a draft to a reality, it's time to head over to shopify.com/giant. Shopify is the perfect partner for any business roster, so make sure that they're on yours today. Whether it's not directly his fault. And even it's just tremendously really bad luck that one of those touchdowns that Denver scores in the fourth quarter after it's deflected off of one player and it bounces into somebody else's hands, and then lo and behold, who's right there to not make a play is Deontay Banks.
Mm-hmm.
Deontay Banks checks into the game and everything just went to shit.
Horrible. It started a little bit before that when Holland was not going to come back in the game in the second half, obviously, but you survived the third quarter. And look, Dane Belton did all he could in that game. He obviously had the huge fourth down stop earlier. But you're asking more from him at that point. But we have talked about this. And last week, when the team finally made the switch to Cordell Flott, fully playing and not going to Deontay Banks, the defense just felt different versus the Philadelphia Eagles. And the defense was pitching a shutout essentially through 3 quarters of this game until Paulson and Dable went out. Guys, look no further. Do not poo-poo the idea that Deontay Banks is atrocious on this team, and Deontay Banks is basically surviving on the team because he's a first-round pick where a general manager just does not want to admit a mistake. Now, what would they have done anyway with a Debo out? Well, that speaks to cornerback depth too. I understand that. Is that an Art Green spot or whatever? But Deontay Banks, every time he has been on the field this year, bad things continue to happen on the defensive side of the football. And I just don't know how you understate that. This team could not survive the injuries of Javon Holland and Paulson Adebo combined today. The moment both of those guys were off the field, everything changed. Everything. I just don't know how you don't watch this game and not understand that.
I'm infuriated by Deontay Banks.
I'm
sucks. Infuriated that they drafted him. I don't care. I don't. Even his rookie year, he was not very good. He got beat by the release. He has never been able to make a play on football. He has never been able to turn his head. And the biggest plays at the end of the game, you expose Drew Phillips is a good player. Drew Phillips is a playmaker, blah, 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 blah. He is not the perfect corner. He allows a good amount of catches. If I'm a team and I have a quarterback that is somewhat capable. I mean, here's the game plan. If I'm, even if I'm the Eagles next week, because I have Devontae Smith and AJ Brown, if I am a quarterback with a somewhat decent arm and I have a somewhat decent deep ball accuracy rate, and I have receivers that can make contested catches and make back shoulder throws and catches and stuff like. You want to know what my game plan is every week? Test these Giants DBs. Test them every single week by the sideline, because I don't know if the safeties clearly aren't fast enough and instinctual enough to make plays over on the sideline, like an Xavier McKinney in 2021 when he had his best season with the Giants and he was making these interceptions and these picks on the sideline. We haven't had a safety like that since. I am challenging these Giants DBs because they are either going to allow catches or they are just going to get flagged because they grab and they lose at the release or they lose at the line. Or even if you allow cushion, they're still just going to get beat and they're still going to grab and they're just going to allow catches. That's what I'm doing every week until anybody can prove any different.
Yeah. I mean, it's completely tough to argue. It's completely tough to argue. That's exactly what happened. Bo Nix saw it. I mean, Bo Nix on the touchdown run saw it. I mean, that's the story of the game. Now, again, you're going to fight back with the offensive point of view that you got to be able to put away a game and force them to use all the timeouts and run the ball. And I do understand that. The offense gave you all of that point total and gave you a 19-point lead in the fourth quarter. This is, to me, entirely on the defense combined with the kicker kicking. And I don't know how you continue to play Deontay Banks. I don't know how you walk away from this week. Looking at this, I'd bury him further on the depth chart, frankly. I really would. I would not let him be the next man up in any situation where Paulson Adebo and Cordell Flott comes out of the game. It's just bad things continue to happen, and it just disheartens the entire locker room at that point.
I'm looking at the play-by-play because Shaun, I right now can't even tell you like what went wrong in the fourth quarter that they allowed 33 points.
It was
they
an
allowed
avalanche.
big plays. I mean, that's all right. They allowed big plays. They allowed a 32-yard run to J.K. Dobbins towards the that was actually towards the end of the third quarter that bled into the fourth quarter, where Bo Nix eventually hits Troy Franklin on that 2-yard touchdown. That's the one where Deontay Banks was right there. I think it ultimately deflected. They ran an 18-play, 80-yard drive that took over 5 minutes. That the only big play that they ripped off there was a 21-yard Bo Nix scramble. Dude, I can't believe this happened. I can't, it's one of those things. I think I've said it before. It's so unbelievable that it's believable.
Yeah. I mean, I understand that. But again, people are going to kill me for this. This is exactly what the 2025 New York Giants are going to be. And it's either you guys understand this now and come to a better mental realization. I understand that this is coming from the guy that basically weeped on this show a week ago. But this is exactly what the 2025 Giants are going to be. They are a defense that has a lot of upside, but is also very thin in spots, like you saw today when the secondary gets hurt. And when you live and die with a rookie quarterback without any true weapon at wide receiver, he is going to wow you like he did today, and he's going to have one boneheaded moment, if not an injury a game, like he had today. And it's how does the team survive? And you are going to hurt this team or hurt this mentality on how you survive when you continue to play players that do not deserve to be on a football field, like Deontay Banks and Jalen Hyatt, to justify draft picks, and or not understand that a kicker is a weapon in the NFL and you have Jude McAtamney kicking. I pin this game entirely on the general manager. Not entirely, but you know what I mean. I pin this game on general manager decisions, and you look back and it's disheartening. You gave up 33 points in the fourth quarter. I'm not trying to throw cold water on it, but I'm not viewing this game like the Deshaun Jackson Eagle game by any means. Justin, go ahead, fight me. I see you want to fight.
No,
me.
I'm not. I don't want to fight you. I don't want to fight. I want my football team to win.
I'm getting the sense you're upset that I'm not as angry as you right now, and like I'm numb to it, and I am angry. But
the second that the Broncos decided that they wanted to actually start playing football and throw the ball down the field and challenge vertically, like instead of the dumb. Like I think for 45 minutes of this game, Sean Payton was dumb. He also was very much playing and play calling like he does not trust his quarterback, which I guess he shouldn't. Right? After what we saw, they were awful. But the second that they tried, and you mentioned it too, the injuries change it. Deontay Banks checks into the game, and things just get a lot different, and he is on the receiving end of a lot of those positive Broncos plays in the fourth quarter, right? But the second that they decided, all right, we're gonna try and play explosive football and challenge the secondary, it worked. It worked. And I don't want to come on and be like, you know what, it's Shane Bowen, because I don't know. I need to rewatch that fourth quarter. I need to see what they were doing to really fully give that full thought. But I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I'd also say this. The throw to Wan'Dale Robinson, as I'm going through the play-by-play too as well, on 3rd and 8. I know that was something you had an issue with. And you can make the case, hey, run the ball, try to get this thing to the 2-minute warning. Okay. Knowing the way the defense was playing with Holland and Dable, did the Giants even get the ball back after that to have the touchdown drive that they eventually had if they don't do that as well? As I'm going through the play-by-play, this is hitting me as well. You trusted your quarterback today. You trusted your quarterback. He did enough to do it, and it was the defense and the kicker. We can go circles and circles. That is what happened today.
Do you know where the Giants retook the lead? Where it was 32-30, they missed the extra point. Yeah. That drive was 12 plays. Do you know how many yards the Giants offense produced?
I mean, it was probably very low because of the penalties. I'm going to say 18 yards, something like that.
It was 16 yards. Yeah.
16 yards. Okay.
Because they got
by the way, penalties count. I don't know what to tell you. Like, you put the ball in a situation where you draw pass interference, and that's what they did.
And then Sean Payton, man, running to the 2-yard line.
He was an idiot.
That cuts it in half.
Sean Payton was the worst coach in the game today. I mean, that much is true. How about him earlier in the game, by the way, Justin, taking that penalty, setting up that Wan'Dale first down as well? Why the hell wouldn't you give us a 4th down in that spot, too? Say all you want about this game. Sean Payton was not the better football coach on that field today. Go ahead.
I don't know. All right. Now I want to talk about. I want to talk about the good things now. We spent 25 minutes talking about The bad things, we spent 25 minutes on how they lost the game. It's like, all right, I do want to talk about the good things that and the good Jackson Dart stuff that did come out of this game. Because how many times can we repeat the same things about the kicker? Because we have been repeating the same things about the kicker. We have been repeating the same things about the defense and these do or die moments. We've seen this. We've seen these losses happen before. They somehow just get even more devastating. Vince Carter, the Vince Carter meme of I got one more in me. All that was going through my brain. All right, I want to talk about cushy dreams because I need it right now. I need some cushy in my life because I am not relaxed, and cushy can help me wind down and get in a better groove. So today's episode is sponsored by Cushy Dreams. Want to add a leg to your parlay that is a guaranteed winner? Then make sure you add Cushy Dreams. They're the best in legal cannabis. Pairs well with every parlay, and it goes well with watching every sport too. Our friends at Cushy Dreams have all kinds of THC and CBD that you can smoke or chew, starting with their fan favorite Delta 9 THC gummies. Joe's McFly was watching the Giants game today. He loves those Delta 9 THC gummies. Have it at the office. They do it when they're watching Guts. Pick your favorite flavor and melt into football Sunday or baseball Monday or hockey Friday or whatever you got, because the Knicks are on this week. Oh, I can't wait for them to break my heart. They've also got euphoric THCA flower, chilled out CBD pre-rolls, intoxicating DA-THC joints, and much more. The fact that I'm saying letters and numbers means that it's good. And since you're a fan of us, you get a deal on all the THC you can smoke or eat. Take 25% off all D9 gummies and the entire store when you use code JM25 at checkout. Thank you to Cushy Dreams. All right. Shaun.
Real quickly, Brian Burns walking boot after the game.
Terrific. Awesome. Fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, quickly, because I will forget to talk about this. Did you see when Abdul Carter was down? And
all the trash talking to him, and then it popped him right back up?
It's like the power of toxic energy, like, made him rose like he was Michael Myers when he smells a crying teenage girl, and he just rose. So yeah, the power of toxic energy got Abdul Carter up, and that was pretty funny. That was probably the funniest moment of the game. Also, I see that the players are still continuing to scrape Cam Scatterbo off the ground like he's gum. Like I even saw at one point somebody just grabbed a hold of his jersey and his chest and just ripped them up. So I guess if those were the funniest moments of the game, I think so.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to think of. The other funniest moment of the game is that we had, for once in our lives, a ball that was dropped lead to a caught pass that ends up in a touchdown as well.
Huge.
Just incredible. Just incredible. And I'm not going to apologize for that either, because Dart actually threw a great ball that should have been caught the first time.
Yeah.
So I'll take the touchdown on it.
Dude, it was one of those. What was it? What was the fucking score?
That?
No,
at that point?
Just obviously you're winning 19-0. And then at one point,
I think that was 19-8, that touchdown that led it to 26-8.
Yeah, at one point you're winning 26-8.
That was the moment I thought the game was over for sure. For sure.
There's 10 minutes and 14 seconds left in the fourth quarter.
Honestly, you want to go back to a not so subtle turning point of the game? You want to just do that now?
What's your Shaun Morash not so subtle turning point of the game, brought to you by Nike? You can click the affiliate link in our description below to shop some amazing Nike gear. Shaun Morash, what's your not so subtle turning point of the game?
Roy Robertson Harris dropping the interception.
That was a tough play.
Tough play. It's in his hands. I'm not blaming him for it. Two things can be true. I'm not blaming him for dropping it. He's a defensive tackle. He's not trying to catch a football. He catches the football. The game is over.
Yeah.
I mean, the game is over. That is before the second to last Broncos touchdown, I believe. I want to say that the game was 26-8 at that point. I think that was with 5 minutes left, right? That was probably their, because if they score that touchdown with 10 minutes left, they go on a 5-minute 18 play 80-yard touchdown. So yeah. Was that the play? Was that 5:21 left when he threw it towards Pat Bryant, or was that okay?
I think they said Pat Bryant. Yeah.
Okay. So that would have been right after that. The Broncos score a touchdown. I mean, Roy Robertson Harris actually catches that. Again, he's a defensive tackle. I'm not mad at him. I'm not blaming him. But he had the ball in his chest and hands. He catches the ball. The game is over. That is the turning point of the game.
The play that I really wanted to call the Shaun Morash not so subtle turning point of the game, and I had this when this happened, and we're kicking ass. I'm like, ooh, I can't wait to talk about this. Victor Dimukeji goes up, and nobody is covering Garrett Bowles, the left tackle. It said very quick before the snap.
Yeah,
72 is eligible. And I'm like, whoa. I'm like, oh, that's the left tackle. And then he goes out. He's wide open. Victor Dimukeji, pass deflection, slams that ball down. Would have been a touchdown. And then I think 1 or 2 plays later, then Dane Belton makes that crazy tackle on 4th and goal.
Yeah.
Giants get the ball back.
That's what sucks, man. Before those guys got hurt, and I'm talking about Dable and Holland, and did they earn their contract renegotiations and reshuffling today. That defense was just bringing the heat, and they were up for the challenge. I don't know how you don't look at the way that this game happened and the way the defense collapsed and not understand that those 2 injuries completely changed everything about the way the defense was playing.
I also think Shane Bowen, and this is where I get to. I'm talking out of my ass here. I'm just saying that right now, without going back and rewatching, without going back and fully thinking about it. Because you want to know why I wasn't thinking about Shaun? You want to know why I wasn't thinking about the Giants' defense and are we going to fall apart here and are we going to fall apart there in the 4th quarter? Want to know why I wasn't watching intently like that? Because the Giants were kicking ass, and I was enjoying myself. And then by the time that I stopped enjoying myself, I then got too anxious to watch and analyze and pay attention to anything. So, but Shane Bowen, just knowing that Shane Bowen, like, this is an issue for him philosophically, there is an issue when allowing big plays in general. Big plays in general. What is the one thing you can't do when you're up by multiple scores? That's the one thing you can't do, Shaun.
Yeah. Okay.
What can't you do?
You can't throw an interception.
No, I'm talking about on defense.
Oh, on defense. I mean, you can't do a million things. You can't take penalties. You can't have a ball go over your heads. I mean, what are you hinting at? What am I missing?
Big plays. You cannot allow big plays.
All right, big plays. Okay.
You just can't allow big plays.
Sorry.
And they did get penalized too. Drew Phillips got a bad pass interference, and that's just part of who he is. And you got to just live with that. If you're, I like Drew Phillips. You got to live.
Even the play on the sideline, dude. Drew Phillips was it Sutton? Was with him step for step. I mean, got beat with a back shoulder. That's where his size just kills him. This is defeated. I
want to talk about the good things. No, I want to talk.
By the way, this is such a classic Talking Giants pod, right? Where it's just the instant reaction, the instant frustration. We haven't heard from Dable yet. We're just spouting off, and Justin is just the beaten man right now. But I'm sure most of our audience is as well.
I do want to talk about some of the good things, though, because as there's 7 minutes left, and the Giants are probably up by 10 points, and all right,
more than that, 26-8, baby.
All they got to do is just get a couple first downs and play the type of football that they played against the Eagles and the Chargers to just run this game out and seal it, and bada bing, bada boom. That was it. So what I was doing is I was making just a compilation of the best offensive plays, and man, like them running out of 12 personnel. We talked about it in the preview pod that's probably what they're going to have to do. And man, did they sink their teeth in it. And man, did it look good. Targeting Daniel Bellinger down the field. Who saw that coming? And targeting Daniel Bellinger down the field, not as this H-back, we're gonna leak him out and we're gonna sneak him out there and you're not gonna see him. They were putting Daniel Bellinger out there like in line as a tight end, and he was going up to see him and on the sideline. I even included in like the compilation of the best plays that I'll probably put out anyway. The compilation of the best plays. I mean, there was even the drop that he had in the end zone was a really good throw by Dart, and just really good stuff by Mike Kafka. And it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. Maybe that's what I'm guilty of, Justin, because you just brought up a couple of those. And I'm really not trying to be ignorant to the Giant fan feelings here on Talking Giants, because, again, I'm upset they lost the game. I want the Giants to go out there and win every football game. And I'm not acting like I'm walking away from this game happy, so to speak. I'm just walking away from this game less devastated than everybody else. Dude, like all those things you just mentioned, the great throw by Dart that was dropped in the end zone. Like, to me, this entire season, the 2025 Giants season, is about Jackson Dart. Newsflash. And that is the way it is when you have rookie quarterbacks. Like,
so let me ask you this. Let me ask you.
I'm just walking away today ultimately feeling like that loss really sucked, but big picture, what the hell were the 2025 Giants anyway? And like, this is what Jackson Dart could build off of this game and that environment versus that defense is far greater than anything an actual win would have brought to the table to the New York Giants today.
So let me ask you this.
Okay.
Because right now I don't know the answer to this. I'm too. I could tell you an answer if you had to put a gun in my head, which is one of my favorite expressions over the last couple months of how I push myself to make a decision on a podcast where you're supposed to give takes and opinions. So you said that what the 2025 season is about, it's about Jackson Dart.
It is. I don't know how you argue with that.
Does the 2026 Giants with Jackson Dart also involve Brian Dable?
Okay, so this is where it's going to get convoluted the rest of the way. I don't know what the hell the organization is basing this season off of. Like, I truthfully don't. Like, as I stand, and that's not a cop-out. If you're basing this off of wins and losses, and you look up and the Giants win 5 games the rest of the year, and you fire Brian Dable, and you're basing off wins and losses, I do think that that's troublesome. That being said, I'm not happy with the general manager right now. And you cannot fire the general manager and force the head coach on a GM, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So if you're telling me right now, Brian Dable's out because the regime is furious with the general manager and some of the missteps, like, again, the kicker situation, then I have to understand that and move on. And I
know that that's not true. We also know that that's not true.
Right, of course. And I'm hot and cold on the coach as it is. But today, and I understand why everybody wants to pin blame on the head coach and everything else, I just want to put everybody in their headspace they were at in the week leading up into this game and the storylines that existed and everything else that unfolded. We were told Giants, by the way, before kickoff, climbed to 8.5-point underdogs. Hey, this is the best defense they will play all year. This is a rookie quarterback where little Jordan Humphrey is going to be going against Patrick Surtain, and what the hell does that mean for the rest of the offense? This is a loud environment. It's Demaryius Thomas Day. How are you going to deal with the emotion? Like, everything led you to believe that this quarterback and this offense were going to score 14 points or less in the game. And this coach had this quarterback who's like his son prepared for that environment, the thin air, everything that went in with it, and the loud crowd and all of that. And he answered the bell and then answered the bell again by throwing and knowing how to draw pass interference and getting the ball in the end zone, not getting his knee down, even after they got sucker punched and gave up the lead. To me, I look at that and go, when I'm weighing the pros and cons of bringing back a head coach at the end of the year, am I really looking to chance screwing up Jackson Dart? I know people are going to hate that answer. And maybe Jackson Dart is so great the head coach doesn't matter. And maybe there is some truth to that. But I don't know, man. Like, big picture stuff, what this head coach is doing with this quarterback right now is pretty freaking impressive. And it's a train I don't want to get off of heading into 2026. So if that makes me a sucker, if that makes me an idiot, you guys want to yell and scream, that's fine. To me, a million ways you lose a football game. It seems to me that Brian Dable is getting this team ready to play games that right now they probably have no business competing in and or winning in. And they basically had a game one they shouldn't have that I think they lost, not for reasons based on the head coach. So, all right, longer story short, I'm going to feel more uneasy. If the decision was made today and this was the last game of the year, I would feel more uneasy than not if the team let go of Brian Dable. But luckily, we have 10 more weeks to figure that out. Yeah, and they got to – Jackson Dart has shown enough as a quarterback, and this is a good thing. Jackson Dart has shown definitely enough as a quarterback to win you football games. So that is what the Giants have to go out and do. Are you any less excited to watch the Giants next week because they lost this game? This team has done nothing to show me that they know how to win football games. And that's not just a players thing, Shaun.
It is also a coaching thing. It is a coaching thing of how you're going to coach your play, how you're going to get your players ready for game day is ultimately part
Were
of it.
they not ready for game day today? Be honest. The team had a 19-point lead. The team was ready for game day today. And then like a house of cards, it started to fall apart when they got defensive injuries and the kicker situation bit them.
But also when moments matter most.
When moments matter most, the offense went right back down the field again and got freaking 7 points and right away was given up and choked away when they couldn't kick a point, dude. When moments mattered most, the offense again answered the bell on the road versus that defense, drew the pass interference and got down there and muscled their way in. They kept answering when moments mattered most. When moments mattered most, they sent out Deontay Banks again, who let the entire defense light a match and go on fire.
Yeah. Dude,
that's on the GM. That's not on the head coach.
Run, pass, 2 drives in a row just kills me, though. And then the interception,
the interception's a bad one, but dude, they're good.
It's run, pass. It's more than the interception. It's run, pass. It's run, pass, 2 drives in a row. So it's a lot of things. Shaun, like I said, I really don't want to.
Is Kafka calling the plays or not?
This isn't my. Dable's part of the game plan. And what are we going to do here? Kafka's just pushing buttons, man. That's where I will disagree with you. Kafka's just pushing buttons.
Has Jackson Dart been printing money on third downs? Run, pass. Does Jackson Dart earn the right on third downs to try to make something happen?
And that's bad. That's bad coaching. That's why Bobby Slowick gets fired. Because when you have an offense that if you continually are going to allow your quarterback to get 3rd and 8, 3rd and 9. Oh, he's been money on. Okay, so and also on.
We disagree, dude. That's fine. That's fine. You're making them burn their timeouts, and you trust the quarterback on third down, who, by the way, showed that you should trust them on that final drive he had.
It's everybody. Like I think
you're getting here, Justin.
Don't put me in a corner, Justin. Like I'm saying it's one thing or another, because I agree with you.
I know, Justin. What you're getting here? Let's be real. What you're getting here is a microcosm of Giants fans staring at the Brian Dable, Joe Schoen era in a 4-year prism, and I understand that, combined with the fact that the team has a promising rookie quarterback that still will make rookie mistakes, combined with the fact that you have a shady defensive coordinator who is more bad than good, and you lose guys because you have a GM that refuses to admit mistakes on picks. Like, you had everything good and bad about the New York Giants over the last couple of years thrown in one giant blender. You hit the power button, you hit high, and you saw what came out. And what came out was a 33-32 loss to the Denver Broncos today. Like, it basically today summed up everything from the Venn diagram of pros and cons of the Brian Dable, Joe Schoen era, all in one, and it resulted in a loss. Is that fair to say?
It's fair to say. Oh, Ari put out my sports update. Giants pass rusher Brian Burns was pissed walking back to the locker room, and you can hear him voicing his anger over the team, dropping 8 in coverage on the final possession.
All right, so they're not happy with oh yeah, I hear this.
Do you have it?
Let's see.
Let me see if I can play it. I got it. Doing that stupid ass shit of dropping 8 in coverage.
Yeah.
That's what he said.
Yeah, he was pissed. So this is where clearly I mean, I can't speak to. So I'm speaking this from a fan's point of view. I'm not in the raw emotion of that locker room. Okay. And the raw emotion of that locker room saw them fight their balls off and blow a lead. So I don't blame those guys for being mad. And clearly that's Brian Burns mad at coaching.
But also you have to put yourself in their shoes of how many times has Dexter Lawrence lost this game? How many times has Brian Burns lost this game throughout his NFL career?
I agree.
And that's one of the great things about Cam Scatterbo and Jackson Dart is that this is a football team. And I don't want to say this is a football team of losers. And I am not calling them losers as people. So don't clip that up. They are not a football team of losers as people, but as football players, this is a team. This is a regime. This is a franchise. They are losers. And they are tired of losing. But more likely than not, they find themselves and they put themselves in losing situations.
Yeah. I mean, no doubt. But this also, can we be real about something? We have talked about Shane Bowen sucking going into this year.
Who was that on?
Whose fault is it that Brian Dable's not allowed to fire Shane Bowen after last year? Is it his fault because he couldn't get along with Wink Martindale? Maybe. Or is it perception's fault that a guy's not allowed to find the right defensive coordinator to get in here?
That's what I need to know. That's
and it's $1 million question. And truthfully, I don't know the answer to it, Justin. Neither do you.
And
Shane Bowen's not the right defensive coordinator for this team.
This is where beat reporters need to screw relationships, screw this, screw. I gotta keep somebody's trust in this. I need to hear this. John Mara stood on that football field and basically fired Shane Bowen. Everybody, we reporters, all left that John Mara presser from the practice field in January, and we said he just ripped apart Brian Dable. But oh boy, did he find a way to rip apart Shane Bowen, even though his head coach was play calling and leading as an offensive coach, an offense that was bottom 3 scoring again, Brian Dable was, but he kept that head coach, and oh boy, did he rip apart a defensive coordinator. Like, they were fired, and they probably saw that they couldn't get a quote unquote better candidate to come in, and then they wound up keeping him. Whose decision was that? I don't know.
Yeah,
but my non-conspiracy brain goes to it is on the head coach. Where if Brian Dable really wanted to slam his fist on the table enough and say this guy sucks, get him out. Before I hear otherwise, I am putting that on Brian Dable.
I mean, I can't argue that. Brian Dable still had the team prepared and were kicking the Broncos' ass all day today until a couple of injuries happened. Now,
and they have 10 games left to prove that they are not this football team that chokes away games late.
Didn't I tell you this, Justin?
I know.
The Giants are going to have heartbreaking losses, and they're going to have euphoric wins. And that is the way the 2025 season is going to go, and the way it's been since Jackson Dart started. They're 2-2 in the Dart era. That's the way it's going to go. We're going to have podcasts like this, and we're going to have podcasts like we did after the Eagle game where we can't believe it. And that is the way it's going to go. What needs to shape out in the last 10 games is finding the why. Why are you losing the games you're losing? Why are you winning the games you're winning? You know, those pieces are going to fall into place. Right now, though, big picture for the 2025 into 2026 Giants, it continues to be about the quarterback position. And you will shape those other things. And right now, it is hard to walk away in the 2-2 record thinking that this team has not found the right quarterback.
All right, Shaun, I think I'll actually end off with I kind of think I want to ask you about wide receiver and what the Giants may do now. But I got to talk to you about DraftKings really quick. This episode is sponsored by our partners over at DraftKings. Stay in on the action. Use your bonus bets on DraftKings same-game parlays. First shot at an even bigger payout. Love the thrill of live in-game betting. DraftKings has got you covered. Bet live on star player props and in-progress games right as they happen. New customers bet just $5 and get 3 months of league pass. Get $300 if your bet wins. Paid in bonus bets. So download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code JMFootball. That's code JMFootball to get $300 in bonus bets instantly if your first $5 bet hits. Plus 3 months of NBA league pass in partnership with DraftKings. The crown is yours. So I don't know if I said this on the preview pod or I wrote it down in a note, but one of the things that I said is I can even see the Giants. Let me even say this before I say that. I think the Giants are going to trade for some sort of wide receiver. And I think it's more than just about winning football games and competing for a division, a wild card, whatever. I think it's more than that. You know, similar like what you said, this 2025 season is about Jackson Dart. And I do think they're going to get some wide receiver. It's just a matter of what team is going to bite. Like if the Dolphins really want to trade Jalen Waddle, which it seems like they don't. But I think if the Giants had it their way, they would go out and they would get Jalen Waddle. I think they would go out and they would get Chris Olave. It's just a matter of, are those teams going to deal it? And what do they want for those guys? So there was part of me that thought heading into this game, hey, maybe even if the Giants lose this game against the Broncos, but one of the reasons why they lost the game, and maybe one of the reasons we can look back on it and say, hey, the Giants need a wide receiver. Like this offense just really desperately needs another weapon and another receiver. And man, if those two final drives of the game didn't show that they desperately need another body at wide receiver, the 3rd and 8, just toss to Wando Robinson, hoping that you get some sort of holding call or pass interference, and all that final drive was just penalty yards. So, Shaun, where are you at right now with trading for a wide receiver?
So I'm at the same spot I was a week ago, and this is why I vehemently disagreed with the outcome of this game. Should determine whether, in fact, you do trade for one or don't trade for one. You're trading for a wide receiver with the building foundation of you want them to be here beyond this year, right? So to me, if the Giants were 3-4 and we were thinking playoffs, like I totally understand why that would push you even further to be buying the chips of being all in. 2-5 doesn't push me away from that, dude. The schedule is still as hard as ever. And if this is the way we're going to act after these losses versus good teams, and I understand that this one is a like soul-snatching loss. The team needs better football players, man. The team needs better football players at the wide receiver position. Imagine not having Jalen Hyatt being that guy streaking down the field towards the end of the game and getting a legitimate wide receiver in here. I would still pull the trigger. And also, if this is a head coach and a general manager that are still on the hot seat, and I say that if because I have no flipping idea at this point. And if it is about wins and losses, why the hell should they care about picks moving forward for another regime? Why wouldn't they try to get a wide receiver to come in here? Jackson Dart has earned the right to have another wide receiver come in here that actually could play professional football at a high level and help him try to win football games over the last 10 weeks of the year. I'm not making a decision on wide receiver based on whether I think the 2025 Giants are a playoff team or not. I'm making that decision based on whether I think that guy is going to be here past 2025 and help this freaking quarterback out this year and continue to build chemistry. This team needs a legitimate NFL wide receiver and not to be hoping to throw 44-yard bombs to Daniel Bellinger your second tight end. Period. Point blank.
Yeah, I really do think they could get a 5th or a 6th. They can give up a 5th or a 6th round pick for somebody.
Dude, go get Jacoby Myers then. If that's the guy, fine. Like if it's not Waddle or Olave, fine. Go get Jacoby Myers. I live with it.
And I really think a 5th or a 6th round pick does it, man.
Right.
And I'm not hugging onto that like it's life or death.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I'm totally with you, man. I'm totally with you. I don't think, and also, dude, you have Brian Burns coming off the field screaming. He's mad about only rushing 3. Like, I don't blame that. If this is a locker room that is about to get pissed off because they just lost a heartbreaker, it feels like that. I mean, isn't it a pretty much a boon to that locker room to buy something and show that room that you do believe in them?
Yeah, I don't know if maybe they'll think of it like that. I don't know. I think Dart will.
Yeah, how could you not? You don't want to see Jackson Dart play with better football players the rest of the year? I mean, how about just dumbing it down to that?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm with you. I don't think they're thinking about it. I don't think they're thinking about it like this football game is going to determine. Like even with this loss today, I think they will continue to try and call the Dolphins. They may even continue to try and call the Saints and be like, what could we get for these guys?
Right. That's all. That's all. I mean, I would do it. 1,000% I would do it. Now, I'm not telling you I'd give up 2 1s for Jalen Waddle, but I would make a move for a wide receiver. I don't think losing today does that. Because if you're gonna treat it that way, if you're not gonna trade for a wide receiver at 2-5, truthfully, then I would look to sell a couple pieces. And do you really want to do that too? Because what does that do for your room? What does that do for the coach and GM? To me, I wouldn't in between this thing.
Yeah, knowing them, if they weren't going to sell Aziz last year.
Yeah. So if you're not going to sell this year, then buy. I mean, and don't buy, again, where it's ridiculous, but buy a wide receiver. And try to buy one where they're here beyond this year because the team needs one. And the answer is not Darius Slayton, please.
All right, I think that's all I got. I feel so damn, man. We really should have came on here, and there's a lot of good shit to talk about with this game.
Man, we could have had a party. We could have had a party. They robbed us of that.
There's Cordell Flott. There's Dane Belton. I thought the linebackers now they allowed big rushing plays in the
dude. This was almost the Cordell Flott game. We almost walked away from today going, this was the Cordell Flott game.
There was one point where I'm watching a Giants game and I'm saying I think Cordell Flott's the best player on this field.
Yeah, I mean there was a good portion of the time where I thought the Giants had the best defense on the field. Clearly that felt good.
Darius Moasau comes up with some big plays. Bobby Okereke was running around, making some big hits. Everybody was getting their hand on a football, pass deflecting it, and getting tipped balls at the line. Brian Burns with 2 more sacks today. I think he tied Nick Bonito
Yeah.
for the league lead.
Did Nick Bonito play, by the way? I couldn't see. Did he play?
Speaking of Nick Bonito running away from Andrew Thomas.
Yep, going on the other side.
And even Jermaine Illuminor kicked his ass, and that looked right. And he looked pretty good. The Broncos defensive ends were too busy tweeting and talking shit and talking about how Jackson Dart dances and wears chains that they couldn't even stay on side. All these things. All these things. I thought a great play called offense for the first 50 minutes of the game, basically. Where the screen on a 3rd and long to Cam Skattebo was awesome. Cam Skattebo had some really good plays and moves in the open field, and he continually makes guys miss. And what a game for Daniel Bellinger. And hey, Theo Johnson drops a ball or two, but man, what a rebound. And he showed some athleticism in the open field. And Dart continuing on 3rd down and dealing with pressure and improvising and not panicking. All these things that we've said about Jackson Dart came true, continued to be true, and we're only really getting into it at the 53-minute mark, 55-minute mark of the show, because the Giants find a way to, add to the power ranking list of most devastating losses since 2010.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, maybe that's a podcast you do middle of the week, but this one is not even going to rank as high as some of the other ones were. I just still think there's more positives to come out of it. People are going to punch me in the face for that, but I'm just viewing this team in a different way. I'm mad at Shane Bowen. I'm mad at Joe Shane. I'm mad they lost the game, but goddamn, do they have a quarterback?
I will look at that. I will look at it that way, similar to how I viewed the Saints game in a different light. After you beat the Eagles on Thursday night, you want to know the best medicine? You got to win. That's the best medicine. And I really think this football team can win, and this football team should win.
You know what? I'm going to close it. I think this is my strongest point, and maybe you're going to crap all over it. Ready?
I am so glad this came at the 57-minute mark, Shaun.
It did. All right. I'm going to close at this point. I think that every Giant fan can agree on this one thing. It is October 19th, 2025. When we gather on July 23rd, 2026 for training camp, whether we lost or win this game is irrelevant to the following point. We are going to be fucking psyched for the 2026 season with whatever happens in the offseason, with a full season of Jackson Dart having gone through what he went through today and through the next 10 weeks under his belt. And we are going to be talking playoffs, whether we won or lost this game today, no matter what, on that day. Just whatever that is, 8 months from now in late July. Are we not?
I'm not ready for that yet.
Okay, I'm just telling you, a moment like this and what this kid delivered on the road in Denver today without getting the win, we're going to remember that, and we're going to remember it's going to mean more.
God bless it, Shaun.
All right, that's fine. That's fine. You can kill me for that, but you know I'm right. Forest through the trees game.
You can't see the forest from the trees, and you can't smell your own shit on your knees. Marilyn Manson, look it up, kids.
Boy, after this,
honestly, that's a great way to end it. You can't see the forest from the trees, and hey, Joe Shane and Brian Dable, you can't smell your own shit on your knees. All right, that's Talking Giants. Right. I don't know what I'm doing in the middle of the week yet, but I would like to get an interview. I would like to get somebody on. Maybe I'll get I don't know. I don't want to do a beat reporter again. Maybe we'll get to the bottom of what good things are happening on the Giants offense and what bad things are happening on the Giants defense. That will be the premise of the midweek episode. How about that? Maybe even partially a mailbag too. So look out for a mailbag tweet. Appreciate everybody listening. Appreciate you, Shaun, for being here. Let's go out there on Sunday. Hey, we're playing a team that we just kicked the crap out of 10 days ago. Let's go out there. Let's beat the Eagles next Sunday. We'll see you later in the week. Let's go Giants.